and welcome back to day 4 of my Pilates series for beginners. I hope you're really enjoying it so far. Hi to any newbies joining me today. Today we're just going to go through a couple of new exercises that you can add into your Pilates understanding. We're going to look at one that's really good for rotation through that spine, so looking at mid-spine, so thoracic rotation, and really good for your core as well. And we're also going to look at a few more core exercises that are really going to target working those core muscles hard. So we're going to start with our core movements and our setup. So you're coming onto your back, thinking about that setup. So feet, remember, heels out, toes out, knees are in line with your feet and your hips. If you find your knees collapsing, just place a cushion between them, and then just make sure your ankles are at the same distance apart. Next, thinking about that pelvis, so we're just going to take a little rock backwards and forwards, gently moving it from an anterior to a posterior tilt. And then you're going to bring that to a standstill, where that tailbone is pointing off towards whatever is behind your feet, and you're going to just feel under that lower back that there's a little gap there, and we're going to keep that little gap there. So you shouldn't feel like you've got a big arch, shouldn't be able to get a train under your back, but at the same time you shouldn't be able to not get your hand on there. There should be a little gap there, so we're leaving our spine in its natural S-curve. There should also be a little gap behind your head. Next, thinking about those core muscles. So I want you to think about pulling your belly button towards your spine and your ribs down towards your hips. So you really engage your kind of mid-core muscles. Next, thinking about that pelvic floor. So remember, internal squeeze. So we're going to internally squeeze those muscles together. Hold it there for me. And then slowly let them go. And again, internal squeeze. Hold it there. And then slowly, with control, let it go. One more time, internal squeeze, hold it there. And then this time, with control, we're going to slowly let it off until we get to that kind of floor 2 or 3. So we're just holding on to those pelvic floor muscles, but not so tightly that you feel like you can't move, can't breathe. Holding it there for the rest of the session. Pulling your ribs down towards your hips, engaging that core. And today we're going to look at breathing. So think belly button to spine. Remember, we want wide thoracic breathing, feeling like your lungs are inflating, your rib cage expands. So you can just interlace your fingers over your rib cage. We're going to take a wide and full breath in. Feel those ribs expand, and then exhale. Slowly feel them come back together. Inhale. And exhale. And inhale, and exhale, and final one, inhale, and exhale. So I want you to try and keep breathing like that throughout the exercises. Next, thinking about those shoulders. So remember, shoulder blades sliding down your back, they're just melting down your back. There should be no tension in that upper body. Bringing both arms up in front of you. You need to be able to see your fingers, don't have them above your head. Core engaged, so belly button to spine. You're going to stretch one arm towards the ceiling and then slowly lower it towards the side. Think belly button to spine, core engaged. Hold it there for an inhale. Wide thoracic breathing, exhale. Bring the arm back and place your shoulder blade back on the floor, other side. Lifting that arm up, stretching it out on the exhale. Hold it there for an inhale. And exhale, back in. And then popping your shoulder blade back on the floor. Core engaged, lifting up, exhale away. Hold that arm there. And then exhale, bring it back to the middle, pop that shoulder blade back on the floor, stretching through the other side. So this is a really nice exercise for focusing on those core muscles and just working into those arms as well. We're going to do one more on each side. Keep thinking belly button to spine, core engaged, pelvic floor on. So remember, you're on floor 2 or 3 of that lift. notch 2 or 3 of that belt. Okay, final one. Holding, and then slowly bringing that arm back in. Okay, this time we're going to add in our leg. So you're going to bring one leg to tabletop. Knee comes to over your hip, shin is parallel with the ceiling, and this time you're going to move your arm away, and at the same time you're going to extend out through that leg, holding it there. So this is a coordination challenge as well. And then we're going to bring it back to the middle. Make sure that knee comes back to tabletop. Move your leg back to the floor. Other leg comes into tabletop. Core engaged. Stretch that arm up. Move your leg away, arm away. Hold it. Exhale. Bring both back to the middle. Moving from your hip, take that leg back to the floor. Other leg comes up. Core engaged, move your leg away, move your arm to the side. Now, if you want to make it easier, bring your leg further into the air. If you want to make it harder, you take your leg further to the floor, holding, and then bringing it back in, and then leg to the floor. Other side, stretching that arm up, stretching that leg out and away, holding it there. Remember, don't let your back arch or your belly dome. You're keeping in control of those core muscles, and then we're bringing it back to the middle. Move from your hip back to the floor. One more on each side. Stretching that arm and leg away. Hold it. Exhale. Back to the middle. Foot to the floor. Other side up. Hold in the middle. Inhale. Wide thoracic breathing. Exhale. Out. Hold for an inhale. Belly back into spine. Exhale. Back in. And lower. Full body stretch just to iron out any creases we've created. And then bring your feet back in. And we're going to look into our obliques. So these are the muscles that kind of crisscross your side. They're another set of core muscles. So feet are hip distance apart. Hands are on your hip bones. And then I want you to keep your pelvis still so you can feel that through your hip. And you're just going to slowly let one leg fall out to the side. So as soon as you feel like that hip starts to roll, you've reached your limit and you're going to hold it there. Then you're going to bring it back to the middle and you're going to go to the other side. Hold it there. Then come back to the middle. Keep thinking belly button to spine. Core engaged, pelvic floor on and strong. Just slowly lowering and then bringing that knee back to the middle. So your foot can roll to the outside, but everything else stays nice and still. So check that that opposite knee isn't going in the other direction to compensate. Keep that still. I'm going to do one more to each side. And final one, think rib to hip connection. And then bringing your legs back up. And we're going to come into our next position, which is our 4-point kneeling position. So, making a box, your wrist is coming under your shoulder, your knee is coming under your hip, and you're going to tilt your tailbone so your pelvis is pointing off at the back wall. So like when we were lying down, we've now made sure our spine is in its neutral position. Eye line stays down at the floor and then is going to follow your hand. If this is uncomfortable on your wrists or your knees, you can put something softer underneath them, and with your wrist you could also make a fist, which will just take any pressure off that wrist joint. Holding it here for an inhale. Then you're going to exhale, pick up your right hand and just take it between the gap between your left arm and leg. You're looking to where your fingers are going, holding it here for an inhale. And then exhale. Bring that arm back underneath your shoulder, core engaged, holding in the middle for an inhale. And then exhale. Other side. So the rotation is coming through your mid-spine. Think belly button to spine, and make sure you haven't taken your hips backwards. So keep your hips over your knees, holding in the middle for an inhale. Exhale. Slowly, with control, rotate. Only rotate as far as you feel you're able to through that mid-spine. Hold for an inhale. Exhale, back to the middle. Hold in the middle for an inhale. And then exhale. Slowly to the other side. Hold it there for an inhale. Exhale back. We're going to do 2 more to each side. Think belly button to spine. Keep that pelvic floor engaged. So we're still squeezing those internal muscles. So floor 3 of that lift and notch 3 of that belt. Core engaged. Pulling your ribs down towards your hips. Keeping your spine in its neutral position. Final time to each side. Inhaling in the middle. Exhale, move. Hold it for an inhale. And exhale, back to the middle. Final time here. Through the gap, holding. And then back to the middle. Okay. Giving your wrists a little wrist wiggle if they need it. And then we're going to finish with a stretch. So you're going to bring your feet to the floor in front of you. Make sure they're hip distance apart. Hands are coming to your sides. Then you're going to pick up your right leg and place it over the top of your left leg. You can take your hands out to the side a bit more if you need a little bit more help with balance. And then you're just pushing your knee away and you should feel that stretch in your glute. The kind of higher up you walk your hands closer to your sides, the more of a stretch you'll get. Holding it there for me. So we're going to hold this for 30 seconds today, but you could hold it for a lot longer. And then slowly bring that leg back down and bringing your other leg up. Again, walk your hands into the sides of your body and you'll get a deeper stretch through that glute. Push your knee away from your shoulder as well. That will help you out. Takes a bit of wiggling sometimes. Bring that leg back down and we are finished for today. I hope you enjoyed my beginner's workout for day 4. Tomorrow is the final one, but if you're really enjoying these workouts, you can check out more on my YouTube channel at Beyond the Studio Pilates, or find me on Instagram and Facebook for more workouts you can do from wherever you are, whenever you like. Take care for now and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye!